One. All right. Airport Security Program for Harvey Field by Cameron Scribner and Caden Small. The purpose of this presentation is designed to inform the viewer about Harvey Field, a non-towered airport, including its standard aviation security practices and a description of the local operations at Harvey Field. So Harvey Field was originally named Snohomish Regional Airport, and then it was renamed Harvey Field Airport and was founded in 1944 by Noble and Eldon Harvey and Wesley Loback. Harvey Field began on a pioneer's family homestead in the mid 1800s and then transitioned to balloon and early aircraft activity in the early 1900s. It was developed as an airport in the mid 1940s by the Harvey family and has stayed in the family's hands to this day. It serves the general aviation community with runways, training, and mixed operations, while facing modern issues such as flooding, infrastructure updates, and visibility realignment proposals and community concerns, which are mapped out in their 2018 master plan.
And then looking on their official airport website, the owner of Harvey Field is Candace Harvey, and the manager is Cynthia Hendrickson. The airport is also owned by Candace Harvey's sons as well, but the main owner of the airport is Candace Harvey.
So here's a little description of Harvey Field. It's located about 1 or a quarter of a mile south of the city of Snohomish. It's kind of in the flat valley, Snohomish Valley area. It's 8 miles east of the city Everett, which is where Painfield is located. The latitude of Harvey Field is 47 degrees, 54 minutes, and 30 seconds north. And the longitude of Harvey Field is 122 degrees, 6 minutes, and 15 seconds. The airport consists of approximately 135 acres, and it has a concrete blacktop surface with designated artificial drainage. There's approximately 46 hangars, 7 uncovered tie downs, and 46 covered tie downs. They have a FBO there, which offers full major and minor maintenance and self-serve fuel 24/7 and fuel truck operations during normal hours. They have 2 runways, or one runway and a grass field. The community at Harvey Field has a strong community presence. Harvey Field puts on a community appreciation day, which has live music, food trucks, a kid zone, and a pancake breakfast in Hangar 15, airplane rides, and the airplane spot landing and flower bombing contest. It ends with a balloon glow at sunset and feels like a super relaxed family day at the airport. If you ever visit during the summer, it's definitely somewhere to go. They host the Snohomish Block Party also at the airfield with tribute bands, vendors, food trucks, a kid zone, and a beer garden. It goes into the evening and feels more like a full festival than just an airport event. The during Kahala days, the airfield balloon glow happens. It has carnival stuff, food. Everyone in the crowd is welcome to watch. The airport also has regular aviation meetups like the EAA Chapter 84 meetings and Washington Pilots Association's meeting in Hangar 15. Here's some photos of the community event. There's the balloon go, some of the tribute bands, and some GA people. It looks like there's a Piper, some sort of Cub plane right there. So some of the operations that Harvey Field hosts are, of course, their FBO, rotorcraft, or rotowing and fixed wing training, fuel line services, aircraft ferry and maintenance services, pilot supplies, U.S. and Canadian charters, flight planning, conference room, showers, and dorms located there, courtesy vehicles, along with that's something I already said, minor and repair services. Other operations that include are general aviation, private, and recreational. Lots of pilots love to do touch and go, so if you're looking for somewhere to go plane spotting, go over there. They also do pilot training, aircraft sales, charter flights, hot air balloon charter, corporate travel, and agricultural services. Being right there in Harvey Field allows them to take care of that. So the purpose of the airport security program, the overall purpose of the airport security program is to create a structured system that protects people, aircraft, and airport facility from intentional or unintentional harm. It lays out how an airport prevents unauthorized access, responds to security threats, and maintains a safe operating environment for everyone who uses the airport. Even at smaller airports that do not fall under TSA oversight, the security program still serves as the airport's main roadmap for how to reduce risks, strengthen defenses, and keep operations running smoothly. So here we have some security infrastructure that's around that helps protect Harvey Field. It consists of some cameras scattered across the main entrance building complex, which is, if you've ever been there, there's a buzz in, which is all connected kind of like to the main building, and it's one way in and one way out by walking on foot. They also have some maintenance entrances. If you look down here where my mouse is, those two signs is a gate, a chain link gate. And then on the far side, running to parallel to Washington State Highway 9, there's fencing with dense foliage. So here we see the foliage and fence line. Where all this foliage is where the fence line's going to run all the way down uh, all to the train tracks. And then we can kind of see where that fence line continues over here where there's not so much foliage and there's a little Christmas tree farm. And then over here is around the main entrance, which is partly our concern. So you can see some discoloration that goes all the way down on the fence line. That's rusted and old gates. Rusted and old chain link fencing. And then we see over here how the fencing drops down to hip height. So this is approximately like 8-foot fencing, and then we go over to hip height fencing, which is sort of our unsecure and more worrying area. But Harvey Field balances this by it being a very public area, because over here we can see that buzz in and the whole flight training area. So our assessment consists that Harvey Field relies heavily on the active person or the reporter as its main source of security, which places a large amount of trust in the people involved in commercial operations and those who use the airport for leisure. From an infrastructure standpoint, Harvey Field does use fencing, but much of it appears old and worn down. To help prevent break-ins, I would recommend adding concertina wire or barbed wire on the furthest fencing or redoing the fencing to improve its condition and effectiveness. I would also increase the height around the entrance to the airport to 8-foot fencing to match the rest. I've personally been to Harvey Field, and it was kind of worrying that you could just jump over the fence. Like, it really wouldn't take much effort to hop over it. But there is a strong community presence and a steady flow of activity at Harvey Field, which helps deter suspicious behavior. Because people are always nearby and paying attention to what is happening, pilots, attendants, instructors, and visitors create a natural level of oversight, simply being present throughout the day, which reduces likelihood of unnoticed or unauthorized actions. And if you've ever worked or been near an airport, there's always the stop and question kind of protocol, which is very standard throughout Harvey Field. And so if you are not a familiar face or lacking a badge or whatever Harvey Field, the internals that we don't know about Harvey Field, somebody will be up there to talk to you or stop you. So our main recommendations. Even though the risk is low to help funnel people and prevent trespassing, we recommend a fencing upgrade, which costs around $150,000 for 10,000 feet of chain fencing at a 6-foot height, including not including the cost of labor.
Yeah, and additionally, we would also recommend to help the reduce of risk of trespassing. We would recommend adding some more security cameras. There are already some on the airfield watching the high traffic areas, but the addition of more would help not only reduce the risk of trespassers because they would see the cameras and maybe think twice about trespassing on the airport, but also if someone were to trespass, it would help in catching that person or seeing if maybe they tampered with an aircraft or with a building or something along those safety standpoints. And then getting into our stakeholder pitch. So Harvey Field overall plays a vital role in supporting the local aviation in the community. Like it was said before, a lot of pilots like to do touch and goes, and it can be a busy airport at times. Um, So Harvey Field supports that by having flight training, aircraft maintenance, skydiving, and just overall supporting recreational pilots. And as these communities continue to grow, so does the responsibility of keeping the airport safe. So, by adding more fencing and better fencing around the airport, and as well as improving the overall security camera and surveillance situation of the airport, it will allow for more growth and allow for the community to continue to be safe in aviation.
So the TSA requirement. This airport does not fall under TSA requirements because it does not host large air carriers or scheduled commercial service. Since those operations are not present, Harvey Field is not required to follow the same federal screening procedures or standards that you would see at a Part 139 airport. Instead, security relies on local procedures, tenant responsibility, general aviation best practices, rather than federal checkpoints or passenger screening. But this does not. There is still screening that goes on for pilots. Almost all pilots and training pilots are screened prior to being accepted into any FBO or flight training schools program. And then these are the sources, and yeah, thank you.